Okay, folks, now here in a few, we're going to get to our conversation, and today we got a good one. But before we get there, we got to go through the main event segment of the evening with our Billy Mays spinoff, as I like to call it. But wait, it gets worse. And this week's target, the Patriot Games.
But wait, it gets worse.
Now, as you may know, a few weeks ago, Pumpkin Spice Palpatine put on his long-touted Patriot Games, and to be honest with you, we kind of ignored it because it just seemed like another MAGA field day that didn't need more attention. Until we got to doing a little bit of digging and saw where the money was going. And, well, now we're here. Now, I know it's been a long time, so let's do a little bit of catch-up. Does anybody remember when this thing was actually announced?
In the fall, we will host the first ever Patriot Games, an unprecedented 4-day athletic event featuring the greatest high school athletes, one young man and one young woman from each state and territory. To help carry out these exciting plans, we have created a new public-private partnership. It's called Freedom 250.
Ah, yes, Freedom 250, the same not-so-fine folks who brought you the lame-ass state fair with not a single space for shade in 5 square miles. Wonder how that could have turned out. Well, I guess we really spared no expenses and spent all the times doing the safety checks on that one, huh? But we'll get into that in a minute. Immediately when these things were announced, the entire internet made the exact same obvious joke. I mean, I did so myself. We're doing the Hunger Games now? And of course, leave it to fucking Newsmax of all places to let that one go right over their fucking heads. You know, actually, just let's show them.
This is nothing like the Hunger Games. No one's out there fighting to the death. If anything, it's like a National Olympics competition.
Yes, because nuance doesn't exist. I mean, it's Newsmax here. We're talking about nuance doesn't exist. But if they're not actively killing each other, then sure, it can't be anything like the Hunger Games. You know what? Cool. Well, how about we just call it what it kind of was? The Hitler Youth Olympics. Now, I'm sure you may be asking yourself, what kind of events would these kids even be competing in to showcase American excellence? Are they doing sprints, running laps, lifting weights? You know, the typical stuff that would, showcase athleticism? Yeah, no, fuck all that. They're doing Chuck E. Cheese style basketball and American Ninja Warrior knockoff courses like this. Hell, they didn't even bust out the big stuff when the Bone Spur Bandit himself made his little debut appearance. Look at those pathetic ass fireworks. And why is Pat McAfee's stupid ass here? I swear, for a dude who says he's so not political, he sure does seem to keep showing up beside that overdeveloped fuck-stained side a whole lot. And you know what? If I'm being fully transparent here, I think something like this, under the right folks, could have been cool. You have kids from all over the country, you include the territories like Puerto Rico, and you have some actual fucking competition where kids go through the fucking motions. They do the things to qualify. Like, you actually figure out who is the baddest teenager in the land athletically. But that's not what happened here. For fuck's sake, there wasn't even a real qualifier. They just made YouTube videos and they got picked. It's nothing about this was an actual competition or an actual showcase of American excellence. This was a grift, as everything with this stupid fucker is. In fact, I think we might even have an audition tape. Can we see one of those real quick?
250 years ago, our nation was built on grit, resilience, and an unstoppable drive to push past our limits. I am John Gass, and I am ready to bring that exact same spirit to the 2026 Patriot Games.
Two, one.
choose me, John Gass, to be a part of the 2026 Patriot Games.
Now look, far be it from me to make fun of a kid publicly, but his fucking parents need they asses drug out behind the woodshed and whipped for putting him up to this shit. That should be considered a form of child abuse. I mean, let's be honest here. You're trying to, like, make your child visually appealing to be served up to a known pedophile for a competition where he watches teenagers. So, like, that's child abuse in and of its fucking self, if you ask me. But ain't nobody asking me, so my opinion don't matter. But do you not realize that in 10, 15 years, that kid is going to be a fully grown adult that has to live in the free world? And every job he gets, every friend group he tries to make is going to find that goddamn video and roast him into oblivion. And whose fucking idea was the cape?
No capes.
Damn right, Edna, no capes. And just like no capes, no crowds either. Because they had to beg people to come to this motherfucker. They literally sent out emails to try and get a crowd there so that when that cockwomble showed up at the end of it, it wouldn't just be crickets while he spoke into a microphone. Jesus Christ. Besides the whole, him stroking the air off again thing, I was not prepared for what my team just did to get us around copyright laws. Oh, I have the best fucking people with me. Anyways, it gets worse though. It's not just that. This is another one of them there Freedom 250 backed productions. So the important part of showing you all this isn't for the laughs. It's to remind you that it's about following the fucking money. Now, just so we're clear, because this can be quite confusing, and I think that's kind of part of the point, Freedom 250 and America 250 are not the same fucking thing. You see, America 250 is the bipartisan effort put together by Congress to commemorate the nation on its 250th birthday. Freedom 250 is the Trump family-backed grift service that keeps putting on all these events while padding the Trump family bank account, up to and including potentially putting out information to donors who thought they were donating to America 250, only to later find out that it was actually Freedom 250, and there is active investigations going on to figure out if this was in fact fraud or not. Of course, when questioned on the subject, the Freedom 250 representatives deny the claims and call it a partisan smear, like they're not just too lazy and doing this shit out right in the open. And if this was just some poorly organized sporting event, I could probably shut the fuck up and forgive it. But it's not that. It's a part of a much bigger problem. This was America's 250th birthday. You only get to do that shit once. We could have had awesome events. We could have had things that drew us together as a nation, that gave us hope and reminded us who we are and how we got here together. But no, instead we get two half-ass attempts at a field day and a competition for kids while the fuck stain in the Oval Office made his wallet fatter. And if that ain't a goddamn picture-perfect explanation of what it's like to be an American right now, quite frankly, I don't know what the fuck is. Maybe if we make it another 250 years, we'll actually get something like that for our 500s. Something cool and of the people, instead of just another fucking cash grab for the so-called corporate elite.
Truth shots.